Welcome back. Oh, my mood is a little bit different in this video than it usually is. I had to find a place in my home where I could actually sit and film because if I turned the camera this way, well, let me just pan it this way for you to see. We're in the middle of moving and everything is a mess. I needed to film a video today. The background is not great. I'm sorry for that. I don't really have a set place to film in this home because we're packing and we're moving, and I don't really have somewhere to just sit and film a video. My new home with my fiance will have an office to film in, and we'll have cute backdrop area that's pleasing to your eye. But I release a video every Tuesday, and I'm not gonna miss a Tuesday because of it and because of the craziness. So I had a real-ish video that I needed to put out today. So a couple days ago, I updated a status on Facebook, just really being vulnerable about my body image issues. And I didn't quite know the big issue that everybody has. Many people share this issue. It's not just a me issue, it's a worldwide issue. I'm gonna take you back on my journey for a second. When I moved to the current city that I'm living in, I was shifting from a junior college into a university college. At junior college, I was a part of a show choir group where we sang and danced. And we danced legitly, and it was a workout. And I was in really good shape. I was super, super thin. And I was the best shape that I've ever been in my life. I was competing in the Miss Oklahoma pageant at that time, so I was little. And I probably weighed anywhere from 110 to 115 pounds. Very little. I'm 5 foot. I moved to a new town to start at a university where I only had 2 years left. And my first year living here, I went through some really, really traumatic things that I am not yet comfortable talking about on this channel. I went through some traumatic stuff. That in turn caused me to stop eating. I was stressed out, I wasn't going to class, I wasn't eating, and I was deteriorating pretty much. I then learned and developed that I had an eating disorder. I started going to counseling, and I got some help. I wasn't quite being as super honest with my disorder as I needed to be, so I wasn't getting the most correct help that I needed. Then fast forward to December of 2018, I was the absolute smallest I've ever been in my life. I was making myself throw up. I wanted to be small. Every time I looked in the mirror, I was not small enough. And it was bad. My face was sinking in. I was so skinny. I would wear, which is so funny because now that I'm having issues being a healthy weight, I wear baggy clothes to cover it up sometimes. But back then, I was wearing baggy clothes because I was so thin, and I knew people would notice, and I knew people would start to pick it up. So I was hiding it under baggy clothing. But obviously I couldn't hide my face. And my face was so sunk in. I will enter a picture that you can tell that my face is sunk in here. I weighed probably 90 pounds I was on the verge of being very extremely unhealthy. Someone in my life reached out to me and said, Haley, I can tell that you have lost a significant amount of weight. What is wrong? What is going on? You have an eating disorder. This is a person in my life that can call me out on this kind of thing, that I have in my life, that has supported me for many, many years, and that I knew would call me out on something, and she finally did. And she even sent me pictures, putting side by sides so that I could see it with my own eyes that I was getting ridiculously unhealthy. And I knew that I was, but I guess was doing it until someone caught me. So I ended up getting help. I was in counseling, extreme counseling. I was in nutrition counseling. I had a nutritionist who was giving me foods to eat and was telling me things that I needed to do to better myself. I was given a plan and I stuck to it, and I started to gain weight in a healthy way. So that was December of 2018. I had been doing that since probably October. So it was really bad for 2 months. I got help, and by June of 2019, I was the most healthy version of myself. I was not super skinny, but I was thin, I was built, I was able to start working out, and I was under a good eating plan. I was doing things, and I didn't feel any shame for it. I felt very confident and comfortable in the body that I had. Fast forward from June 2019 to about August of 2019. I started teaching kindergarten, and I also started officially in a relationship with my fiance, and I immediately just started gaining a ton of weight. So now we are in June of 2020. A year ago, I was in the best healthy version of myself. A year later, I'm still healthy. I've just put on weight, and I'm not used to having extra fat places, to being a little heavier. And this is not to say that I'm fat, but when I look at myself in the mirror, to the girl that had an eating disorder in 2018 and was fighting her life to get out of it and was getting the help and really got out of it, and in June 2019 became the best version of herself. It took me 6 months to crawl out of that hole. And then to go an opposite direction, and it would be because, one, you gain weight when you're happy. When you're finally happy, you start to gain weight without noticing because you're happy and you're just living your life. I'm not trying to impress anyone anymore. There's nothing I'm doing. And so I was eating and enjoying life, and I was happy. And that's the deal. I was happy. So then when I noticed that I was starting to gain weight, I started to try to diet. I started to try to do things, and I always would fall and would just start shoving a bunch of food in my mouth and was overindulging. And it is because I would try to just cut everything out and start fresh on a brand new diet, and you cannot do that. So now here I am, and I'm not fat. I'm in a healthy weight. I'm not overweight. I'm just healthy, and I'm happy. Could I stand to probably lose 10 pounds? Yes, but is it do or die for me? No. Do I want to lose 10 pounds? Yeah, and I'm going to, but I'm going to do it in a way where I'm not depriving myself of things. I'm still living my life, and I'm happy. And I finally was vulnerable and posted something, and the answers that I got back to see the crazy amount of people that deal with body image issues, and it is because the media puts out this way that we are supposed to perceive and be ourselves. But God also is proud and loves me, and my fiance is proud and loves me. Why, when I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see someone post a picture in their swimsuit, I start to criticize everything about myself? And I have to unfollow people sometimes on social media because I start comparing myself, and it's getting to like an unhealthy point. And then it gets to a point where I'm like, I should probably delete my social media since this is getting a little out of hand. And then I'm like, why? Social media is something that I love to be involved in. I have family and friends that live far away that I keep in touch with through that. Why would I deprive myself from something that makes me happy when I could just unfollow certain people who, if I'm comparing myself, maybe I can refollow you again sometime, but right now is not the time. So I say all this to say, this was my journey. I am still working and moving through certain pieces of this journey. Do not compare yourself. The people you see on Instagram could edit their pictures. They might use Photoshop. You don't know the logistics behind it. They also could be dealing with an eating disorder, and they might be dealing with mental insecurities as well. You do not know everybody's story. Stop looking at the highlight reel of their life and start focusing on you and being happy in your skin and being happy about who you are and who God created you to be, because that is all that matters. I felt like I so needed to share this because I have been trapped in my mind and talking so negatively about myself for so long. It is time to talk positively. You will not talk negative about yourself. I will not talk negative about myself. And we will also not talk about anybody else negatively. You're going to be positive about yourself. I'm going to be positive about myself. And I'm going to tell other people constantly, every day, something positive about themselves. This is too crazy of a world right now. We are going through way too much as a country. And the last thing that you need to be criticizing yourself on is your body, because it does so many incredible, amazing things to keep you alive every single day. So don't you ever take that for granted. And love yourself for who you are and who God created you to be in the body that He created for you. So, with that being said, I just really felt like I needed to get that off my chest. I want this channel to be somewhere where people can be real and vulnerable, and I wasn't being real and vulnerable with myself in that part of my story, and I needed to be. I needed to get it out there. I needed to really be myself and just show that side of me. So please share this video with someone that needs that encouragement, that needs that motivation, that little oomph to get it. I will eventually lose that 10 pounds, but I'm going to lose it in a happy and healthy way for me, and you can do the same thing for you. I love you guys, and I'm so thankful for this small but great, amazing family that we've built on here. I have many things coming, but for now, I will see you guys in the next video.